steps count. First of all, let me just start by saying thank you for having Rogers here. I certainly welcome the opportunity to talk to this audience a little bit about Rogers Communications, and then certainly focus on where we are innovating. Just because I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Rogers, I do start my presentation with just a little bit of an overview. We are slightly different, we think of ourselves as a slightly different carrier. The best is yet to come. If you asked our late founder, Ted Rogers, what he thought about innovation or technology, that was the response. And in many ways, as a company, it's an organizing credo for the way we think about innovation. You can see it in our Live Like Never Before tagline, and you can see it in the way in which we engage and entertain innovation. A little bit about Rogers. We are one of the largest companies in Canada. We operate in a variety of different industries or places in the telecom sector. We have Canada's largest cable footprint, offering obviously video and high-speed internet and home solutions, as well as smart home monitoring. We were part of the iControl platform and launched that as our fifth product line in the footprint. We're Canada's largest wireless company. Our flagship brand is Rogers Wireless, but we also have flanker brands in the form of Fido and Chatter. And we have a large play in business solutions, running Ethernet and data centers for all of Canada's major cities. In addition to that, we're the third largest media company in Canada, with a variety of television networks, both conventional and specialty. We operate 55 radio stations. We have over 100 publishing brands, 50 of which are consumer-focused. And we own and operate most of Canada's major sports teams, the Leafs and Blue Jays. We're not that happy with the Jays' performance this year, but we do own and operate most of those teams, largely because we believe that content matters, and we want to own content at the point where it's being generated. So we, in the context of some of the other presenters on the stage, these numbers aren't that large in the context of Canada. I think they are material. We're just under a $13 billion company. We produce about $5 billion of operating profit annually. We serve just under 10 million wireless subscribers, about 2 million cable and internet subscribers, and about 90% of Canadian homes have a Rogers branded media experience in their home, which gives us an amazing platform, an amazing opportunity to start to exploit the intersections of these various different business lines that we're in. And one way to think about it, if we kind of put it in an American context, is it's a little bit like the portfolio of assets we have is like a combination of Comcast and Verizon. So if you put those two companies together, that's a much bigger entity than what we operate, but it gives you a sense of the type of assets that we're assembling. And we think the fact that we have a cable footprint and a wireless footprint gives us a lot of unique opportunities to innovate. I should say, we are a quad play in the Ontario market, our largest market, and rapidly building out to be a 5 play. So with that, I'm going to turn for a few minutes here and just talk about innovation and how we think about innovations in areas that we're focused on. Probably no surprise to anybody in the room. For us, innovation starts by our investment in our networks. We have a commitment to having the most advanced networks in the country and investing in at the cusp of the global standards. Currently, our footprint is 70% LTE enabled. We're investing in LTE Max on the 2600 spectrum. And in our cable footprint, we're actively dropping fiber to homes and pushing fiber deeper into our cable network. So we have a commitment to ensuring that our customers have the fastest digital experience possible. Secondly, the network is part of it, but it's nothing that we don't hang the best hardware on it. And for a long time, we've led by being a hardware innovator. We were the first and only iPhone introduction into Canada. If it wasn't for Rogers, I would say that BlackBerry wouldn't have had its early days. We were one of the first companies to bet on BlackBerry, and for a period of time that helped support it into becoming quite a success. So we have a long tradition of betting on and believing in the devices that then hang on that network. But increasingly, those two things alone are not enough. And if yesterday is any indication, I think many people in this room believe that as well. I had the opportunity to go through 22 one-on-ones yesterday. And in that context, I was introduced to many companies that are experimenting and playing in areas that kind of play these next two. And I call those like kind of the coolest apps and the most compelling content. So for us, the content is something we can do in many ways using our existing assets. But the applications in the area is not necessarily a core area of strength. In many cases, what we've been doing is finding those coolest apps, curating them, and embedding them inside our environment for our customers. And doing that in a way that we believe starts to differentiate the Rogers experience, starts to differentiate the screen, and give our customers a unique premium experience. So today we offer a set of assets which I've referred to, the 5-play, and the wireless, but we've made good inroads into a variety of other areas, many of which I think we're talking about last year and the previous years. I won't belabor the concept of the category, but just give you a sense of where we are. In M2M, we've been investing in M2M for the last 5 years. We are the undisputed leader in M2M in the Canadian marketplace. We've just passed an important milestone for us, which was our 1 millionth device activated on the Canadian network in M2M, and we're growing at about just under 30% a year. We think that'll be a very important business in the context of Canada. And one of the most important things for us is not just the connectivity, but the data and the intelligence that we gather off of that connectivity, which allows us to sell much more customized relationships with our B2B and enterprise partners in this regard. Mobile commerce. Some of you may know this, but Rogers just received licensing to become a Category A bank in Canada, which is an unconventional move. It allows us to offer, frankly, it allows us to offer mortgages if we wanted to. But really our application for that supports a vision of a financial roadmap that we think is going to be intertwined and hard to separate from your mobile experience, much in the way that video or photography is today. Last fall, we partnered with one of the largest banks in Canada, CIBC, to launch Canada's first NFC-enabled digital credit card. Again, people may or may not know, Canada is one of the leaders in contactless payments. We have over 30 million contactless terminals across the country. And one of the benefits of having a consolidated banking industry is they tend to organize and agree on some of those standards. We have just launched our digital wallet, and our digital wallet allows us to embed future credit cards as well as any kind of stored value cards or identity cards and stuff like that. It all works off of NFC technology. It's being rolled into our base as a value-added application. The only other thing I would say as it relates to mobile commerce is we're launching our own credit card, and we'll do that in Q1 of next year. And the point of that is to tie financial transactions to a loyalty experience that will hopefully tie our customers closer to Rogers. Digital media, the transformation there is one that everybody's probably well familiar with. Most of the assets we have are incredible brands, shackled to legacy distribution platforms. From our perspective, the future is what everyone's experiencing in this room, and we need all of our applications, all of our content to be available any place on any device in any format. And so we have significant investments there. In mobile video, we embrace the multi-screen environment. We're making the investments to take our legacy cable and make sure that it works across screens. We do offer sort of over-the-top solutions for our customers today, and workarounds. We're on a roadmap in there that's, I think, is quite innovative and will line us up nicely with some of the leaders in this space and address some of the larger over-the-top competition in the form of Netflix and otherwise. Wireless home phone, I should say, is an important application for us that we just launched. It's got incredible traction for us. What it does is it basically offers a home phone solution out of footprint, which allows us to bundle. I mentioned we're a 5-play solution in Ontario, but across the country we're not necessarily. So we're basically putting together over-the-top bundle of solutions outside of footprint, and that's an important thing for us. And then the last one is home automation. We were an early investor in the iControl platform, along with some of our cable partners in the US. We have the Canadian exclusivity for the iControl platform. Over the last 18 months, we've been successful at gaining significant share in the Canadian marketplace on the smart monitoring platform. And while it's a security offering today, for us, it's the beginning of a much more ambitious play into the consumer's home and being really the intelligence of the home, tying into all things energy, health-related, etc. So I was asked specifically, I don't know if I did an okay job, hopefully, of addressing the request, but specifically, I started by giving a little bit of context because what's on the slide is not the sum total of everything we're interested in. I would hate for people to leave here thinking, well, I have a great idea, but it doesn't fit into these 4 boxes. From our perspective, if you think about the business that I just described, there is opportunity at all of those intersections, and we're certainly interested in hearing about applications or opportunities that you can bring in that regard. Let me just talk a little bit about areas where we are, though, putting a disproportionate focus or disproportionate investment. The first is in business. We believe that the business marketplace is going through a transformation akin to the one that we've seen in the consumer marketplace. We believe heavily in the managed mobility elements of business and what you can do when you start to combine M2M, wireless solutions, next generation products, data and Ethernet put together in a very compelling package for both enterprise and even small customers. Digital, we're on a transformation roadmap, so anything that helps us transform our traditional digital assets is interesting to us. But one area in particular that we're spending a lot of time and energy and getting some really good early success in the marketplace is an area we call local digital services. And for us, local digital services are the intersection between social, local, and mobile. And what we've done, and this is I'll give you an example of a use case, is we've partnered with leading platforms and brought them to the Canadian marketplace. So our first foray into this is a business offering called Outrank. Outrank is the Canadian version of Yodel. Yodel is a reasonably large SEO solutions provider targeted at small businesses here in the US. We own the Canadian platform for that. We're an investor in Yodel, and we've been successful at demonstrating that our customers value that type of a lead generation solution. Similarly, we're pursuing and have undergone similar investments with 5 Stars and PlaceCast, and we're bringing those into the Canadian marketplace as leading applications in their space. And finally, as it relates to the home, security is the starting point. We're vested in the iControl platform. The intersection of the iControl platform and the mobile platform is a pretty important place for us. Energy management is a huge opportunity, one that iControl platform today already addresses, but one that we're being very proactive about developing solutions against. And then, of course, aging in place, home medical care, those types of things are we believe, real opportunities for the future. So I'm happy to talk. I'm going to be around, but I'm happy to talk to anybody around these things. I feel like I already talked to some of the people in the room on these topics. Just in terms of a little bit more about how you kind of connect with Rogers, it's worth noting that for the last 6 years, Rogers has been experimenting with the Ventures Group. In the last 2 years, I'd say we got serious about it. And by getting serious, I guess that means we moved the group down here to Palo Alto. We established a long-term funding commitment for the group. We have roughly 14 companies in the last 2 years that we've investigated here in the Valley. Companies like Security, Trust ID, companies like Ruckus Wireless, Cognitive Networks. And you can see that the composition of the companies that we've invested in, many of them are on the network infrastructure side, some of them are on the financial technology side, and then a smattering across. It's worth saying that our Ventures Group operates as a Ventures Group, and what we hope is that they've got their pulse on the innovation that's existing in the marketplace. If that group identifies opportunities that are good and useful for Rogers overall, then there's an easy channel between the two, but it's not a prerequisite. So that group can legitimately evaluate opportunities and let the best opportunities rise to the top. So that's sort of my presentation. I have contact information for myself on the bottom, for myself on the bottom, and for one of our key partners in Rogers Ventures, a guy named Mike Lee. If you have any questions or you want to talk about it more, by all means, reach out to either of us. Thank you.